Cami and Wyatt Practice Patience. Written by Stacy C. Bauer. Illustrated by Rebecca Sinclair. It was a warm, sunny day at the kangaroo house, so they decided to go fishing. They were excited to spend a relaxing day together on the water. Cami and Wyatt dug up worms in the yard while Daddy got the poles ready. "All right, everyone, let's hurry up and get ready," Mommy called. "Here we are," Daddy declared after they found a good fishing spot. "Who's going to catch the first fish?" Mommy asked as she reached for the poles. "I am!" Cami, Wyatt, and Daddy all shouted. "Oh no, the lines are all tangled up," Cami groaned. "I'll take care of it," Daddy said. Mommy sighed and handed him the poles. "All set," Daddy said a few minutes later. Wyatt put a worm on his hook and cast the line into the water. Immediately the bobber went under. "I got one!" he shouted and started to reel the line in. Wyatt pulled up the line to see that he had caught a lily pad. Daddy unhooked the weed and threw it back into the water. Mommy Kangaroo stood quickly, jerked her pole, and reeled in her line. "Mommy, you caught the first fish!" Wyatt announced, laughing. While Daddy took the two small fish off to throw it back, Mommy watched Wyatt dig through the bucket of worms. "Can you just choose one, please?" she asked. Wyatt finally baited his hook. He cast his line out toward the water, but snagged a tree branch instead. "Whoops," Wyatt said sheepishly. Daddy reached over to unhook it. Meanwhile, Cami sighed as she wiggled her pole up and down. "This is boring. I'm never going to catch anything," she complained. "Yes, you will," Mommy said. "Just be patient." Mommy cast her line again, and the bobber sank immediately. "Wow! Mommy caught another one!" Wyatt said. Mommy quickly reeled her line in. "Uh-oh, the fish swallowed the hook." She moaned and held it toward Daddy for help. Daddy sighed, set his pole down, and got out the pliers. As Daddy worked to free Mommy's fish, Cami continued jiggling her pole around. Wyatt reeled in his line only to discover that his worm had disappeared. "Hey!" he whined. "Something ate my worm!" "Obviously it was a fish," Cami snapped while reeling in her own line. "Oh, great! My worm is gone too! I wonder how long my hook was empty. What a waste of time!" "I need another worm," Wyatt said and reached for the bucket. "Well, so do I! Hurry up!" Cami raised her voice. "Just a minute!" Wyatt looked through the bucket. "Dad, Wyatt won't let me get a worm!" Cami snatched the bucket out of Wyatt's hands. The bucket slipped from her hands and spilled all over the boat. "Look at that mess!" Daddy barked. Cami and Wyatt started crying. "I don't like fishing," Wyatt said tearfully. "Me either," Cami agreed. "It's not fun. We never catch anything." Daddy took a deep breath and blew it out. "Waiting is hard," Mommy agreed. "I have trouble waiting for things too." "Really?" Cami asked. "Oh, yes," Earlier today, I got impatient waiting for everyone to get ready to go. Mommy reminded them. Oh yeah, you told us to hurry up. Cami laughed. We all need to practice being more patient, Mommy said. Do you know what that means? Yes, it means we have to wait, even if we don't want to. Cami sighed. Especially when we don't want to, Daddy explained. Being patient means to wait without getting upset or angry. That's impossible. Cami crossed her arms. Yeah, Wyatt chimed in. And remember when you got upset because the fishing pole lines were all tangled up? And you got mad at Wyatt because he didn't find a worm fast enough, Cami reminded her. And Wyatt began. Okay, Mommy interrupted. See? I need to work on being more patient too. Let's work on it together. What are some things we can do when we start to feel impatient? Mommy asked. Cami and Wyatt thought for a minute. Take a deep breath, Wyatt suggested. Count to 10, Daddy said. Do something else while we're waiting, Cami added. Daddy smiled. Fishing is a lot of fun, but it does require a lot of patience. Sometimes the fish just aren't biting. Sometimes you catch weeds or trees, Wyatt grinned. Sometimes the fish swallows the hook, Mommy pointed out. Or your bait just disappears, Cami laughed. And sometimes we lose our tempers, Daddy said. But we forgive each other and try again, right? Cami asked. That's right, Mommy said. They all felt better as they got their poles ready for another try. As the sun rose overhead, the kangaroo family cast their lines out again and again. Wyatt caught a log. Mommy took a deep breath after she reeled in another tiny fish. Daddy counted to 10 as he spent his time untangling lines, unhooking logs, putting worms on and taking fish off. Cami got bored waiting for the fish to bite and noticed a bald eagle soaring overhead. She watched as it dove and scooped a fish up out of the water, her boredom forgotten. Later that afternoon, Daddy felt his line move. He stood up and watched his bobber disappear completely under the water. Daddy's got one! Daddy's got a big one! Wyatt shouted, jumping up and down. Good job, Daddy, Cami said with glee as Mummy clapped. At the end of the day, the kangaroo family returned to the house, tired, hot, and ready for dinner. Let's go fry up that fish, Daddy said happily. They may not have caught many fish that day, but they had fun. Sometimes they forgot to count to 10 or take deep breaths, and they didn't always wait nicely. The important thing was they always forgave each other and tried again. Practicing being more patient had turned a frustrating morning into a fun afternoon for them all.
Thank you for coming to the story room. If you like this story, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe.